Okay, so my group will be presenting about reduced inequalities. So, about the background of inequalities in Vietnam. Inequalities are increasing in many forms, where there is a limit in the debate of this issue. This because the term inequality is rarely used in formal documentation and in public courses. It is a concern that it is believed that speaking about inequalities may conflict with the country's socialism-oriented ideology. Additionally, public awareness is limited towards inequality as growth and poverty takes the focus of debaters and policymakers. So now I'll pass the time to Serena to talk about the issues.
Thank you, Chloe. Today I'll be presenting about the issues in Vietnam. In Vietnam, many women are being discriminated against compared to many male counterparts in aspects like economy and social life. For generations, a lot of women face troubles like the lack of ability to access education and also developmental opportunities. It's even more difficult for ethnic minority groups which are female due to their lack of education, limited access to decent services, and long working hours accompanied by the lack of decision-making power in family and also limited roles in the community. However, in Vietnam, there is a legal framework which is supposed to reduce gender inequality issues. In Vietnam, however, women are still at a disadvantage compared to their male counterparts. Even in politics and decision-making, women are being discriminated against, and the decisions which affect the women's rights are decided by government officials and business leaders, which are males. So now, let us be speaking about the gender issues.
Thank you, Serena. I'm going to talk about how Vietnam has tried their best to reduce gender inequalities between different genders over the past years or decade. In Vietnam, men and women are employed in different sectors. This should be taken into consideration when the government is coming up with industry policies and employment creation programs for its country. As compared to men, fewer women are in wage employment. Hence, efforts were made to remove barriers which prevented women from participating in certain policies or programs. Better education provision was also needed for females who belong to Vietnam's ethnic minorities. It's also important for female leaders to build their capacity in order to increase decentralization. If women are able to do that, it's actually similar to what Nguyen Thi Kim Ngan, a Vietnamese politician, achieved over the past few years. If you don't know her, she was actually the first Vietnamese woman to be elected as the National Assembly Chair in 2016. With that, Daniel would present the recommendations that our group has thought of.
Suggestion that we would like to put forward to reduce the unequal and unjust treatment of workers is through raising awareness. Starting from the ground up, the population can get on board with a he for she movement introduced by UN Women's Executive Director and led by her former senior advisor until 2019. The success of this movement will encourage the male population to speak up about women-centered issues, as well as rally and band together with women to ensure everyone gets a fair share of the pie and no one is favored over another based on gender. Social media is a powerful tool that can be used for the community to show their support and pledge towards a more equal society. In Temasek Polytechnic, the Global Connect student group has extended our collective support for this movement through pledging and committing the movement online through our Instagram. Kishan will talk more and elaborate about this in the next slide.
Thank you, Daniel. As Daniel mentioned earlier, the Global Connect student group members from Temasek Polytechnic did participate in the He for She movement. All they did was that they took a piece of paper, wrote down hashtag He for She to show their support for the movement. One thing that we feel that can be done is to make the movement known to big companies, perhaps for a start Singapore-based companies in Vietnam. They can make the change by having an equal number of people in the company of whom who hold various positions. For example, if there are 10 slots of managerial level positions to be filled, it could be distributed equally 5 and 5 for women and men. Additionally, all staff regardless of age, race, gender should be given equal opportunities to develop themselves so that nobody is being deprived of opportunities and everybody get their chance in serving the various positions. One thing that people should know is that until you try, you wouldn't know if you're capable of doing something. Apart from this, there is a rising concern on the impact of COVID-19 over education for marginalized children in Vietnam. The ethnic minority are largely impacted, as with the given situation of COVID-19, receiving quality early childhood care education is a difficulty. Initially, to reduce inequalities and provide equality education, an organization called e-Xchange began their efforts in 2016. Despite the current COVID-19 situation, they continued these efforts by trying to be in contact with schools to provide them the guidance to children and families to promote learning at home. With that being said, we would like to end off with a quote. Inequality is the root of social evil by Pope Francis. My team and I would like to express our gratitude to the FPT Education Global Tho City students, namely Yang, the team leader, Lok, Thuy, Nu, and Khoi, for joining us and sharing insightful information about Vietnam and foster new friendship between us, which we believe will last long. We would also like to thank Passage to ASEAN and Temasek Polytechnic for making this experience possible for us. We'd like to thank everyone for participating and stay safe. Goodbye.